My wonderful listeners, we have seen Warmington today in Parliament doubling down on its corruption, wanted to defund the Integrity Commission investigators. And the reason why Warmington is on a mission, not only Warmington alone, right? This goes to show you that the entire Jamaica Labour Party administration is corrupt, right? My question, what have the Integrity Commission investigators had done to deserve this sort of interrogation, this sort of scrutiny, right? And outrightly being disrespected, right? The Integrity Commission investigators have simply carried out their task as they ought to. And they have been under scrutiny from the Jamaica Labour Party government. They have been interrogated. They have been disrespected. And the list goes on. And now the mission is to defund them. Without any further delay, let me show you some of the hanky-panky as it relates to what Warmington went on with as it relates to Parliament today. So let us sit back and take that in, and then we are going to break it down. All right, Tony?
Statement released by the Integrity Commission in response to my request in Parliament that an audited report be laid in the Parliament before any more funds are made available to them, and that they must be held accountable just like any other ministry, department, and agencies. The annual audit report referred to by the Integrity Commission in its release is a mere financial statement of the Integrity Commission, financial transaction and financial position, as it is not an audit of this critical government agency. What I demanded is a full compliance value for money audit of the Integrity Commission.
Member. May I take a look at the statement you're reading there, member, versus what you supplied?
I'm supplied something different from what he's reading.
Yeah, like this.
It's just coming through.
Yeah, people having problems.
The phone. Yeah.
I wanted to be clear because the members started by speaking about a statement on the adjournment of the sitting, but you had mentioned it's a personal statement.
The member made a request for a personal statement to be made prior to the sitting of the House today. I reviewed the statement and made certain suggestions as to items that should be removed from said statement by the member, which took some time. The member is being allowed to make the personal statement as it is in response to comments made by him in the House, and about him, which he would want to seek leave of the House to have clarified. And so the leeway is being granted to the member to do so. So member, I wasn't hearing you very clearly when you started, and I want to ensure that you do not utter one word that you had not sought permission to have approved prior to commencement. And I would like to be able to follow along. So member, could you please start? Member, could you please start at the beginning? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The statement I'm making is because of reference that was made about me publicly in the public domain. So I wanted to respond to that. And I said, let me start it. The statement released by the Interior Commission in response to my request in Parliament that an audited report be laid in Parliament before any more funds are made available to them. And they must be held fully accountable, just like any other ministry, department, and agencies. The annual audit report referred to by them as in their release is a mere financial statement of the Integrity Commission financial transaction and financial position, and is not an audit of this critical government agency. What I demanded is a full compliance value for money audit of the Integrity Commission to audit and examine its management and administrative control, security control, information technology control, external and internal controls, human resources practices, policies and procedures, and oversight procedures of the Integrity Commission. Financials, the focus here. Financial statement audit focuses on the accuracy and completeness and presentation of financial data, ensuring compliance with accounting principles such as international financial reporting. Value for money audit focuses on 3 E's: economy, minimizing cost; efficiency, maximizing output from resources; and effectiveness, achieving intended outcome. It looks at that operational performance rather than just financial accuracy. Financial statement audit involves detailed testing of transaction, balances, and disclosure within the financial statements. Auditors examine documents, verifying calculations, and check compliance with regulations. Value for money audit involves reviewing programs, projects, and procedures to evaluate how well resources are managed. Auditors analyze performance metrics, review operation, and interview stakeholders to assess the effectiveness and efficiencies of the resource utilization.
My goodness.
Financial statement audit results in an audit opinion on the fairness and accuracy of financial statements.
Okay, I am not going to waste any time with this political despot. Not going to waste any time with this political despot. So I'm going to speak to Warmington. One of the first things that I observed, Mr. Warmington, obviously because of your stuttering, your consistent stuttering with the document, obviously did not come from your witty thinking, right? So we know that someone, right, or persons had planned to write, right, that document for you, right, as a result of you being the consistent stuttering that you're stuttering over the document, right? Because you don't have the wittiness, right, to put that together. Let me say that to you. Now we have seen this, that the world must come to terms that the Jamaica Labour Party administration bent on, right, hypocrisy and corruption. And we are going to speak on it tonight. Now, Mr. Warmington, you talk about you want full compliance, value for money audit report. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Warmington. I'm going to ask you this question. Is the Jamaican people are getting value for money as it relates to this administration? I am generalizing now before I even deal with you. The Andrew Holness-led government, is this administration giving the Jamaican citizenry value for money? what the Jamaicans are currently facing, right, is a heavy task of inflation. And one of the significant reasons as to why we have such high inflation, the significant reason is corruption. Corruption. Why it is corruption? Let me tell you why it is corruption. When we look on 2.3 trillion debt, right, that the country owed, and $1.7 trillion unaccounted for, corruption is the primary problem. So I want you to explain to the Jamaican people, right, how are we getting value for money in terms of what you are demanding from the Integrity Commission, right? You want value for money from the Integrity Commission to audit them, right, and find a reason to defund them. Because what? What? Because the Integrity Commission investigators had done their work, right, and done their work truthfully and ethically, and they had spoken the truth. And as such, now the truth became an offense to those who are offended, which of course the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, you understand, is the primary subject of the Integrity Commission investigator as it relates to illicit enrichment. And so here you are, right? Let me ask you a question, Mr. Warmington. On 3 occasions, Andrew Holness applauded the Integrity Commission to be performing excellently well. Let me ask you, within those 3 occasions that the Prime Minister had applauded them in terms of their performance, did you want full compliance, value for money audit then? Did you want that? I am just going to break you down and let Jamaica see you for who you are. You understand? You're a corruption. You understand? You aid and abet corruption and criminality. So in terms of the Prime Minister, applauded the Integrity Commission, right? Did you see it fit then to ask for a full compliance value for money audit? No. Because guess what? The Prime Minister, right, based on what we have as it relates to investigation and the history and the timeline between 2006 to 2009, wanted to soften the Integrity Commission. But this goes to speak to Greg Christie character, that you can't sweeten him up, right? You cannot sweeten him up and believe you can get a pass as it relates to your corruption. So regardless of you applauding the Integrity Commission of doing excellent job, the Integrity Commission maintain their focus and carry on their duty and deliver what need to be delivered, which is simply the truth of the investigation. And the fact still exists that the Prime Minister is unable, right, to explain his wealth. No, and so then, of course, we see now to the fact that the Integrity Commission investigators have done their task as they are to by law and in the remit of their responsibilities to carry out the investigation as it relates to checks and balance, as it relates to procurement procedures. Right? We are to remember, Mr. Warmington, that in 2017, right, the Integrity Commission Act, right, had been legislated by both what? The PNP supported it and the Jamaica Labour Party supported it. So now, as a result now, which is obviously clear, because of the Integrity Commission investigation into Andrew Holness as it relates to his 2021 statutory declaration, it is clear that Andrew Holness doesn't like the outcome, and so that Andrew Holness and his corrupted empire decided now to burn down the Integrity Commission, and you now has been used as the attack dog. So let me talk to you now, Warmington, right? Let me stop from generalize the issues that relate to Jamaica Labour Party administration. I am talking to you. Here you are in Parliament today, talking about that the Jamaican people, the Jamaican taxpayer, want value for money. Now, Mr. Warmington, take a look in your constituency. The amount of bad roads in your constituency, sir. Let me ask you, is Jamaicans are getting value for their money? It is you who brought it up, you know. It is you who brought it up, you know. And that's why the mess is going to touch the fan. Right? So then here you are, right, demanding of the Integrity Commission, right, to be audited by Parliament, right, in anticipation, right, as what you claim, right, value for money. So let me ask you the question, Mr. Warmington. In your constituency, are you ensuring that you're being a political representative? Are you representing the people as it relates to value for money? No, and in general, is the Jamaica Labour Party giving value for money as it relates to the Jamaican citizenry? No. No. Right? So that is what you need to consider.